Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Ushanka Show. Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи. В эфире программа Ushanka Show. So as I promised, today we're going to talk again about doing laundry in the Soviet Union, and we're going to discuss different Soviet-made laundry machines. Стиральные машины. Well, might as well let's do a quick lesson of the Russian language. Урок русского языка. Стирка. Стирка. So стирка is the word for doing laundry, so that's the process when you do your laundry, you do стирка, заниматься стиркой. Стирка. Стиральная машина. Стиральная машина. So that's the washing machine. Стиральная машина. But before we start a conversation about Soviet washing machine, let's talk really quick about America. And I believe most Americans, when they think about washing machines and brands, they probably think about Whirlpool. Some of you may have thought about Maytag appliances, but I think for about 10 years or so, Whirlpool owns Maytag brand. I think there was a choice between selling that company to Chinese or Whirlpool, and Whirlpool ended up convincing the American government it's totally okay to have a monopoly on appliances in the United States. Okay, so there is a quiz for you guys. What this beautiful lady, Katya Upton, Kate Upton, or Katyusha Upton, has to do with Whirlpool washers? And let me throw another curveball at you. What this guy, his name is Fred Upton, has to do with Whirlpool? And the answer is that Kate Upton and her uncle Fred Upton, who is, I believe, a senator from Michigan, they are directly related to Frederick Upton, who back in 1911 founded Upton Machine Company. So back in November 11, 1911, Louis Upton founded Upton Machine Company. Later he was joined by his brother Frederick Upton. And Frederick Upton is the grandfather of Fred Upton, who is uncle of Kate Upton. And Upton Machine Company later became Whirlpool Corporation. So Louis Upton invented electric motor-driven wringer washer, which became a popular item and was sold through Sears under Kenmore brand, and that's how the company grew. And I know that because Upton Machine Company was founded in St. Joseph, Michigan, basically less than 15 miles from my home, and even now Whirlpool Corporation has their headquarters and engineering center here in Benton Harbor, Michigan, once again very close to my place. And I only can speculate how the things happened, why Louis Upton decided to invent this electric motor-driven wringer washer. My guess that one day or one night he was trying to get some action in the bedroom, and his wife said that she was doing laundry by hand all day long and she's too tired. So he looked how the laundry being done, and he realized, oh, we got this new electric motors invented. Maybe I can utilize that device, and that's how this Upton Machine Company electric motor-driven wringer washer was invented. And my guess, sometime later, he probably was trying to get some action again, and this time his wife complained that she had a headache, and it's probably how the aspirin was invented. I apologize for that small detour, and now let's talk about Soviet washing machines, советские стиральные машины. Mass production of the Soviet washing machines began back in 1950, so pretty much almost 40 years after similar devices began manufactured in the United States. They were manufactured in Riga, capital of Soviet Latvia, and that was the name of the washing machine, Riga. And the model numbers were EAYA-2 and EAYA-3. There are two interesting facts, I would say mind-blowing facts about these Riga washing machines. Manufacturing cost of a single washing machine was 1,500 rubles. Retail price was 600 rubles. Once again, to make the washing machine was 1,500 rubles. Retail price was 600 rubles. In Soviet Russia, you don't make profit. In Soviet Russia, profit makes you. The second fun fact, these washers were produced at Рижский электромашиностроительный завод. So that was the factory that was manufactured electric trains, so-called электричка. So they were making equipment for electric trains. and as a side business, they were making these super expensive, money-losing washers. So here I need to pause and address to my tanky friends that can't wrap their head around why Soviet Union collapsed, why socialist economy didn't work. Maybe this example will give you a little hint. If you manufacture consumer goods at the giant loss and you make factories that have nothing to do with consumer goods manufacture consumer goods, in the end you're gonna run yourself into the wall. What was really amazing is the second generation of washers from Riga called Riga 54. So I assume it was began manufacturing in 1954, and you might recognize the look. No, it looks like a R2D2 with a little penis. So that's a second generation of the Soviet washer, and I wonder maybe that's where Lucas got his idea for that Star Wars character from the Soviet washer. And of course these washers were quite primitive. It's basically a bucket with the agitator, didn't have a timer, didn't have a water heater. You just need to pour hot or cold water, turn it on, and it'll be just beating the heck out of your laundry until you stop it. Okay, now we're gonna talk about another washing machine, this little cutie patootie called Mylutka. And Mylutka, it's the word when a little tiny girl, and she's really small and tiny and cute, we call them Mylutka. So that was the name of this little washing device. But before we talk about Mylutka, we need to mention December of 1966. It's when the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Soviet Union and Soviet Ministrov, so that's the ministry, all the ministries together, I don't know how to translate Soviet Ministrov, so they issued a joint executive order about maximum utilization of the current production capacities at the factories for the increase in consumer goods manufacturing. So whatever extra capacities factories had, they had to utilize it to produce consumer goods. So this is 1966. I find the executive order quite interesting because 1966 is 2 years after Nikita Khrushchev was removed from power. And our new leader, Leonid Brezhnev, that's pretty much the guy that I knew as the leader for, 12 years. He continued a policy of Nikita Khrushchev of treating Soviet people as people, not material, and provide them with some basic consumer goods. So this executive order pretty much ordered every factory, regardless what they manufacture, to find some excessive capacity and begin manufacturing anything for consumers. So according to this order, 1 year later, in 1967, one of the largest factories in the Soviet Union called Uralmashzavod, located in Ekaterinburg, so that's the Siberia pretty much, and this factory was manufacturing tanks. During the war, they made T-34s, they made cannons. After the war, they still manufactured military equipment as well as huge excavators for open mining coal and stuff. They began manufacturing weights for exercising, barbells, souvenirs, aluminum bread boxes, and even furniture. So that's the Uralmashzavod in Ekaterinburg, Soviet Russia. In the same year, 1967, they received a new task to design and begin manufacturing of the compact washing machine that could fit in those tiny Khrushchevka apartments. We already talked about it. I'm planning to make more videos, but apartments were tiny and the bathrooms were even smaller. So those Riga washing machines were too big to fit in the bathrooms, so people put them in the kitchens. So now there was a new task. Let's design a tiny washing machine. And when I say let's design something, that means let's find something in the West and make a copy. So they found a French small washing machine and pretty much made a copy of it with some improvements and some changes. The main difference that it was all plastic, very small, weight only 8 kilograms, and it's pretty much the size of the microwave. And once again, it was really primitive, basic, so just a plastic tank with electric motor attached and a small agitator. So you just pour hot or cold water, put a little bit of laundry. I mean, you couldn't put much in it. I mean, maybe wash my underwear, definitely can fit their sheets or anything. And usually people will set it up on the board in the bathtub, and it's just gonna agitate that clothing until it looks clean. Then you wash it, then you agitate again to rinse it. And quite a primitive, but it was very popular, and they manufactured the total amount of 2.5 million those Mylutka washing machines. The retail price was 38 rubles, which is not really cheap. It was pretty much 50% of the minimal salary in the Soviet Union was 70 rubles. So if you think about what is the minimum wages in the United States and picture you pay half of it to buy this little tiny silly washer. The production volume was about 50,000 washing machines per month, which is quite impressive for the tank factories. Once again, think about it. Tank factory was manufacturing these little toy washing machines. And another interesting detail about manufacturing this cute Mylutka washing machine, and it's another fine example of the socialist economy. So the plastic goods, those units were coming all the way from Yugoslavia. I didn't bother to check how many miles from capital of Yugoslavia to Ekaterinburg, Russia, but I'll guess thousands. So picture shipping 2.5 million of these plastic tubs from Yugoslavia all the way to Ekaterinburg to manufacture these washers. So they probably didn't make any money on those Malyutkas either. So this Mylutka washing machine was manufactured for about 30 years with barely any changes, just little, small improvements here and there. And as I said, they sold over 2.5 million units. And in 1996, so 5 years after the Soviet Union collapsed, manufacturing stopped due to the competition from the foreign better washers. And before I finish the story, I would like to show you examples how small Soviet bathrooms were or still are, and this is what people do in modern days, trying to fit the washers inside those tiny bathrooms. I mean, you gotta give them a credit. They find solutions. I actually saw a couple of units people installed like on the wall, bolted towards the wall, so it's like on about 4 feet in the air. This washer will be above the bathtub on the wall, because those bathrooms originally weren't designed to have any kind of equipment like a washer. And I mean, I'm not talking about trying to get dryer in there. Okay, my friends, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something new. If you want to support my work, there's a new way to do it. You can join Ushanka Show on YouTube. There is a subscription fee, and you can become like a patron, but right directly on YouTube. You just need to click on the join button and then just follow the instructions. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye. By the way, cool merch for cool comrades is available at the Ushanka store at teespring.com. Just a friendly reminder that my book American Diaries is available on amazon.com, or shoot me an email if you would like to have a signed copy. Thank you. And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new, interesting videos about the life in Soviet